fact, June is National Men's Health Month. 4 in 10 men don't go to the doctor for an annual checkup, instead only going if something is seriously wrong. The rest of the time, you know that old saying, just rub some dirt on it? You get it. Let's talk about it tonight with my guests, Marine Corps vet and mental toughness expert Eric Rittemyer. And we've decided to bring in our friend Kenneth Moten to this conversation because this is something, first of all, good to see you again. But, you know, we're at the age now where we're having conversations in the newsroom about like aches and pains and, and things that you encounter when, when you hit 40 and beyond. So these are conversations I think we got to have more of with each other.
100%. And I just turned 50 right back in April, so I feel like those ache and pains now are skyrocketing. And now you start to recognize all those crazy things you do when you're younger. They start to catch up with you. Let's be realistic. We're in our teens, we're in our 20s, we're in our 30s. We can pretty much do anything we want at any time. But unfortunately, at some point, that catches up to you. I think that's what happens. The problem with a lot of guys, I believe, we do this, what I call avoidance coping, meaning we just want to try to avoid the issue. We wait until something's broke, and that's not a good thing.
I was thinking about my dad's a perfect example of somebody who never went to the doctor, like just avoided it. Yeah. And when he had a stroke and they check his blood pressure and you realize it's like well over 200, these are things that could be mitigated because I think, you know, we're raised in different ways in different environments, but I think by and large, you're always sort of encouraged to walk it off and kind of it'll pass.
And if you look at cardiovascular disease, I mean, this is really one of the only inevitable diseases of our species. Every single living, breathing human will die with some form of cardiovascular disease, not always because of it. It's almost totally preventable. And when you hear about somebody who dies suddenly, whatever it was that caused that sudden death didn't just happen in that moment normally. It's something that progressed for many years. Had you caught it early enough and made some minor changes, could have significant long-term impacts.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how a little more than a year ago, before I came to Fox 5, a personal story, I went to the doctor for a checkup because I think I've said it, you know, before on our air, like, if there's something potentially wrong with me, I'm going to go to the doctor and get it checked out. I'm going to use my insurance, as I say. And so I went to the doctor, and I'll be 42 this summer, and he mentioned overweight, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and it freaked me out. And I went on an immediate diet, started hitting the gym more, probably why my knee is hurting, but I started to really pay attention to my health and drop some pounds. So I think people, like some viewers were like, oh, we see you drop some pounds. It's because I was scared out of my mind about a year ago, thinking I don't want to go into my later years obese, you know, high blood pressure, because we know in black men the disparities when it comes to health.
It's scary, and again, a lot of these things are totally preventable. You mentioned the exercise piece. I just read a study about this. You take someone who exercises 0 hours per week, increase that to 3 hours a week, 25 minutes a day, they decrease the risk of cardiovascular disease by about 50%. Wow. And I'm not talking about extraneous exercise, but elevated heart rate.
I love when you come on, though, because you're wearing the short sleeve shirt, and here you're talking about 50, and you're jacked.
Yes.
How often do you hit the gym?
So, you know what's funny, Jim? So it's like I feel like I'm starting to try to get more into it now. For me, I just run all the time, so I feel like fortunately that helps increase my metabolism.
And the gym doesn't have to be an hour, 2-hour workout. I mean, I know you mentioned something 25 minutes. I do 30 minutes twice a week with a trainer, and it kills me. I mean, because we're doing intense workouts here. I mean, it'd be pretty sad. I'm pretty sure Jim want to see a camera on it to make fun of me for the rest of my life.
Oh, me too. Me too. When I'm doing my HIIT workouts, yeah.
But the amount of sweat from 20 to 25 minutes of work, I mean, it makes a difference.
You know, we just pulled up your books, and when you did the Emotional Marine, it kind of speaks to that idea that sometimes there are things that men feel like it's best to bottle up inside, and you're writing about kind of verbalizing that and getting it out there. We talk about emotional issues, but physical issues as well.
Yeah, so when you look at wellness, you think about the physical aspect of it, but there's physical, emotional, spiritual, social, intellectual. There's all these components to well-rounded, someone who would say is healthy. Yeah. So if you don't address some of those issues, especially for men with the emotional piece, we suppress, we hold it in, we don't like to feel, we don't like to express our emotions out of fear of being labeled as weak. That's a problem.
When you were talking, Kenneth, just about you having that kind of come to Jesus moment with your doctor, I think I had that too, thinking about my dad's health history and things that we didn't know. Didn't know he was diabetic until he had the stroke, and they come to my mother and go, hey, you know, he was type 2. So you know, was that were there family issues that kind of came to mind for you as well, or was this just kind of bettering yourself? Because you know, we also have these you know, multi-million-dollar mirrors in front of us every day where we see ourselves looking back, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah,
That's normally when I see you, but
Oh, thanks.
I had to get that in. You know that.
I thought he was talking to me.
People, I mean, everybody thinks we're superficial for being on TV, right? So it's like, oh, that's why he's losing the weight. No, it's because of family issues.
Yeah.
I think about my great-grandfather died of prostate cancer. My family, we're from the South, the deep South, where everything is fried, and that's how it's going to be, and that's how, that's how we eat. And where a meat and three, it's supposed to be a meat and 3 vegetables, but the vegetables are like corn and like things that are clearly not healthy vegetables.
Yeah.
And they're, got a lot of butter and grease and everything else like that. And so I think about all those things. And so I have to watch what I eat because I know what could be because of what is with my family. And I try to help, not lecture, but at least tell my uncles and other, guys in my family, my cousins about why it's important to watch. Because in your 20s, yeah, like it seems like your metabolism is doing great, it's firing on all cylinders, but as we get older, we all know it slows down.
We popped up those books, but Eric, what's the website? People want to learn more about what you're writing, what you're doing.
MentalToughnessSpeaker.com is my website, and I'm all over social media, obviously, too.
Good to have this conversation with you, my friend.
Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you.
And Kenneth, thanks for sticking around tonight.
You know what? It's past my bedtime. I'm usually listening to your show on the way home right now.
We're back after this.
But I'm on it.